Ever since it was created, Judaism has been persecuted for centuries. This brought the great powers to think about proposing a Jewish homeland, especially in the 19th and 20th centuries. Today, I will cover some of the more interesting locations proposed for becoming the Jewish state. The first proposed location was actually established. Founded in 1825, the Grand Island in New York State would have become a Jewish refuge due in part to politician and playwright Mordecai Noah. This 27 square mile land held what was to be the city of Ararat. Mordecai's grand idea eventually failed because no Jews actually came to settle. The next proposal is even more wild. Proposed by British Colonial Secretary Joseph Chamberlain in 1903, a 5,000 square mile portion of the Kenyan Great Rift Valley would be made into a Jewish homeland. This was sparked by the recent pogroms in Russia, which killed more than 3,000 Jews. The Russian delegation greatly opposed this proposal, but nonetheless, Britain sent inspectors to the plateau. The inspectors saw it to have the perfect climate, but the lands were filled with the Maasai natives, who weren't so keen on having European settlers visit. So the plan was scrapped, and the Zionists took the matters into their own hands once again. The next location was proposed quite early from the Zionist movement. In 1799, Napoleon's army had reached the city of Acre, all the way from Alexandria, to complete his Empire of the East. He was to control the whole of the Ottoman Empire. To reach his imperial goals, he made a deal to the Syrian Jews that if they assisted the French army, Napoleon would rebuild Solomon's temple and give the Jewish people a homeland in Jerusalem. These were only intentions though, and Napoleon's army was eventually defeated by the joint Ottoman-British army. The very last location I'll be explaining is the Madagascar Plan. First proposed in 1878 by French scholars, the Madagascar Plan was supposed to relocate all European Jews to Madagascar to keep them safe. But really, the plan was promoted by anti-Semites who didn't want Jewish peoples in Europe. After the failure of the Kenyan Plan, the Madagascar Plan became the most popular plan for European scholars regarding Zionism. Poland actually took a great interest to the plan, estimating that 500 families or fewer could settle the island. Later in 1940, Nazi Germany took an interest in using the island for removing the Jewish population from Europe. The Nazis planned on deporting the Jews and putting them onto German-occupied Madagascar. Then, a police state would be constructed with the SS being the administrative force. And no, this settlement would not be a fun playground. It was meant to purposely torture the Jewish people by putting them in an inhospitable land. This plan was thankfully ended when the British fleet regained its superiority and launched a liberation of Madagascar in 1942. There's a really great video about that up here if you want to learn more. The Nazi government then switched their plan from deportation of the Jews to extermination. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. For more about Jewish history, I'd suggest that you watch this video.